Hello, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Ringside Rivalries Slam Stories. I'm Michelle Miller. I am the co host, along with my beautiful daughter, Victoria Valentine, to anything and everything Ringside Rivalries. Isn't that right?
Hello, everybody.
There she is. First, what I want to do is go ahead and just give everyone a little bit of information in regards to what we hope to accomplish with Slam Stories. From the very beginning, when we first created Ringside Rivalries, it was extremely important to us for us to bridge that gap between the fan base and the talent of the independent wrestling circuit. And still to this day, that is exactly what we are striving to do. So we have officially completed our pilot season, which was a lot of fun to film. And we are so grateful to everybody who helped us with that. And we've learned a lot, and we're ready to take that information and move into season 2 onto bigger things and see what happens. But what you'll see here with Slam Stories is us visiting with independent wrestling talent, promoters, workers, trainees, and fans. And what we want is to listen to their stories of everything that they've accomplished that has really stuck with them along their journey. Go ahead, and I'm going to pass this over to Victoria Valentine.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Why don't we see what's happening in the chat? Let's see how everybody's doing here tonight. Looks like we have Larry Mitchell in the chat. Hello, girls. We've got our own Crystal Harmon joining us tonight.
Hello, hello.
Look at that. We've got Heather Gish. Hello, you two. A little bit of Jasmine Stearns. Oh, we got a whole party happening here tonight. We love to see this.
All right. Hey there, Cindy.
Cindy, hello. We've even got Amanda tonight. Hello.
Hey, Amanda.
It is so good to see so many of you guys joining us here tonight on Ringside Rivalries Slam Stories. This is such amazing. So, who at all in the chat so far knows of LVK? Who is one of his fans? Who looks up to him? Who we got in the chat? We've got so many fans that we've got to meet and get to know slightly.
We have, yes. Well, whether you know him or not, I think we should go ahead and take this opportunity to welcome Mr. LVK on so that everyone can get up to speed on what his story is. What do you think?
I think so. So with introduction, here comes LVK.
And I agree, Jasmine. He is awesome.
Yes.
There he is.
What's going on, guys?
Hey there, LVK. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thankful that you guys, had me as your first inaugural guest. So that's pretty cool. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, it's our absolute pleasure. And we can't thank you enough for being our very first guest here on Slam Stories. We're coming up on almost a year of being and the opportunity to work together. I believe we dropped our first promo with you back in June of 2024. So I think we're coming up on about 10 months of working together. We met over at SNPW, which is Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling. They were the first promotion that ever opened their doors to us at Ringside Rivalry. So, of course, they have a very, very special place in our heart. But yes, one of our favorite memories of SNPW while we were there covering their matches was meeting LVK.
I'm so thankful for you guys. Meeting you guys has probably been the best thing that's happened to me recently when it comes to professional wrestling, because you would always want to get your name out there, and you guys have done everything that you possibly can to bright my star and make me seem like a pretty big deal. So I thank you guys, and meeting you was like the best thing to my career.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're so nice. Thank you.
Looks like we've got some activity there in the chat. You want to take a second and see what's going on, Victoria?
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, this chat is going insane. It's hard to keep up. I mean, as soon as LVK hit the screen, it is blowing up. We've got Heather Gish saying she's a huge fan of LVK.
Heather.
Coming in, best fan for life.
Oh, Cindy, definitely a fan for life. I call her Hall of Famer, and she knows why I call her Hall of Famer.
That is amazing. We even got Crystal Harmon in here saying one of my favorite wrestlers. I mean,
Crystal always gives like the best hugs. Not even lying. She always seeks me out at shows too, and she gives me like a hug, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna take one because you give amazing hugs.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of experiencing those Crystal Harmon hugs, and we can absolutely agree with you.
Yes. They're the talk of the locker room. It's like, hey, if you're having a bad match or you're having a bad day, just go get a hug from Crystal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understand.
Now we
I see Jasmine there too. Hey, Jasmine.
Yeah, we've got Jasmine in here saying, hey, LVK. We've got here from Cindy again. LVK, miss you.
I miss everybody at SMPW. Like it's always home. You know, it's always the home. So I can't just say like, oh, hey guys. No, I got to say, hey, I miss you guys too. And you guys will always be my home. So.
That's amazing. Amanda coming in here. Hey, LVK.
Hey, what's up, Amanda?
We got Crystal. Love you, LVK. It is going crazy.
She knows.
Hello. We got Heather Gish. Hello, LVK. I miss you a lot.
See, home.
That's right. Well, speaking of home and of course many other things, for those, of course, we've got a lot of fans here, but we, even moving forward during the replay, we may have individuals that aren't familiar with LVK yet. So if you don't mind, could you give us a little bit of backstory?
So basically, who I am and what I represent, I always feel like I'm the best. And my job, my duty is to always prove that I'm the best. And each and every night you guys see me, my name is usually the loudest name that you chant. So I am, without a shadow of a doubt, the best that you will ever see. Night in, night out. I always give my 100% each time you see me in that ring. And outside of the ring, I'm probably one of the easiest guys to talk to. So you come up and say, hey, I'll shake your hand, give you a hug, sign autographs, do whatever you want. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. My big thing is winning. And so as you can see, I've won a lot at SMPW. I think I've lost probably twice in the last 2 years. If I'm thinking about it, if I'm thinking about the losses, that means I haven't lost that much. So
it's true. That's true. I remember first meeting you. One of our first discussions was the fact that, you were there and you were doing it for the fans because you've already accomplished so much in winning that your passion was still fueled more for the fans than the championship itself. That's something that always stuck with me after meeting you.
Right. Yeah, I've won my fair share of championships. So, I know what it tastes like I know what it's like to taste gold. So, I've done it so much where it's just like I have to give something back to the fans. Mm-hmm. And if that's winning gold again, then I can know that I can give that back to the fans. If it's not, then I know that I'm going to have the best match of the night because they're going to be chanting my name from the start of the night to when my match hits to the end of the night. So
very true.
So that's no matter where I go. I can go to SMPW. I can go to all these other companies that I've been to, and it's the same thing.
No, I agree. Victoria and I have witnessed it for ourselves. We sat amongst the crowd while you've come out and fought in that ring, and I can probably say you do receive one of the loudest cheers I've ever heard so far.
Oh,
right.
Absolutely. It always would take over the crowd. I mean, it was so hard to find a single person sitting down and not cheering for you. I mean, the place would erupt. It was like, oh my gosh, we've got to know this guy. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long have you been doing this all together?
So I first started in, I want to say 2010.
Okay.
And I was very like unknown at the time. I was just getting my foot in the door, just training and being in security for shows and, taking dark matches. And it took me to find the right group of guys. And when I found the right group of guys, we all had the same goal. We all had the same mindset. We all wanted to always be better than what we were. And so when I found them, I started elevating my game. They started elevating their games. We start getting booked more. We start seeing better results. We went from being dark matches to being openers. And then when we were being openers, companies were like, well, we can't put them as openers because it's going to be hard to follow them. So we got to put them either in the middle or the main. And then as we gradually kept getting better and better and better, more and more opportunities, more and more shows opened up. So that's where my start was. So I would say 2010 would be the training years, but the name recognition years, I would say probably 2013, 2014.
Okay. And throughout that time, where have you wrestled at?
So I've wrestled for Dynamo Pro, WPW. There's remnants of WPW guys that are still around, and they're in different companies. So I get to catch up with them every now and then. I've wrestled for KCWX. There's a couple others that I forget the names of that were around, but they're not around anymore. So I know the cities that I've worked for. So like Kentucky, Illinois, those are states I've worked for. Missouri, of course. Had a show in Chicago that me and Adrian Surge, we killed it. We killed it, and that was early on in our careers. And so, I've been to Iowa and wrestled there too. So, it's not even like the name of the companies really that I remember more than where I was at.
Where you've been.
Yeah.
I understand that. Throughout that time, what would you say your scariest story would be from the ring? That one moment that really pushed you outside your comfort level?
Well, I got more than one. This one was at SMPW.
Okay.
The wrestling with those three guys that I mentioned, they put me in some really bad spots. One of them is being on the balcony. I have jumped off a balcony at numerous venues, and the first time you do it, it's scary because the one thing you don't want to do is look down. Here I am trying to tell myself, don't look down, don't look down. But when I climbed up there, I had to find them. And the first thing I did was, oh, where they at? Oh, you're looking down. So now you're up there, you have to jump. So that was the scariest thing I've ever done. And then I topped the scariest thing after that. I jumped off a basketball hoop, and not just the basketball hoop part itself, but like higher up. So I was literally touching the ceiling of a building, and I jumped off. And then the Tony Flood match that we had in the middle of the street was pretty scary. He threw me into a stop sign and didn't know the ditch was down there. And when I went upward into the stop sign. My leg swung out from under me. I fell flat on my back into a ditch. And the ditch was pretty low. So
yeah,
when I fell in that ditch, there was beer bottles, there was trash. I ended up fracturing my wrist. And I thought for sure, I was like, I'm paralyzed. I'm paralyzed. There's no way I'm getting up. Tony Flood, the good friend he is, he comes down there, shoos the crowd away, and he's like, are you okay? Can you move? Wiggle your fingers, do something. So I start wiggling my fingers. I'm like, I can wiggle my right hand, but I don't have any feeling in my left hand.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, your left hand is pretty swollen right now. I look down, my left hand is pretty swollen.
Mm.
I'm left-handed, so I punch with my left.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we had to figure out like how I'm going to do this because I'm mainly a striker. So we have to try to figure out how we're going to do this with my wrist being, pretty much fractured.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go. I don't care. I'll go to the hospital after this. We got those crowd. We got these people hooked in. We have to keep this going. So the scariest was just that moment of just falling flat and then just continually going and going. With me, scared and fear, I love to conquer those things. So when I do those, like being in steel cage matches, being in ladder matches, being in tables matches, yes, I am terrified. That's the one thing that fans don't know. Like before those matches, before we make those matches, yeah, I'm terrified. But then when I get in there, I'm like, I'm gonna conquer these matches. I'm gonna kill it. So that like conquers the fears that I have.
If you remain driven, it's an easy distraction or easier distraction because I don't think it'll ever really be easier, but maybe it'll lessen the blow.
Right. It's like the adrenaline kicks in and it makes you forget about the fear.
Yeah, exactly. I see the chat is popping up a lot. Victoria, you want to take a quick second and see what's going on in there?
Absolutely. It has now become flooded where it is a whole bunch of miss you LVK.
I miss y'all too.
Who just recently joined. And then Crystal Harmon as well, jumping on it. And this is a cool one. We got Cindy saying, you, Tony Adrian, good memories. And it looks like we actually have questions from both Heathers, Heather Irvin and Heather Gesh, asking, when are you coming back?
Wow. Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking I was going to get that question. So I can honestly say this. I've been watching. I've been keeping an eye on SMPW. And I can say that never say never. I'm not saying I'm coming back, but I'm also not saying I'm not coming back. One day I could pop up out of nowhere. You never know.
Have to keep eyes peeled. You never know at this point.
Oh, it looks like Cindy's sharing some more of her opinions on your matches with Tony, and I think she agrees with those holy shit moments.
Yeah, the Tony Flood Wars were. Whoa. I mean, we've wrestled in pretty much any match you can think of, like last man standings, cage matches, ladder matches, tables matches, submission matches. Iron Man. We've done it all. We've done everything, and some of these matches were for titles. Some of them were for pride. Like the Tony Flood matches were easily one of my the Tony Flood matches, the Dice Patterson matches, and the Adrian Search matches. Those are my top matches of all time. Those three guys are the rivalries that will define me. They've tested my character. They've tested my mentality. They've tested my physicality. They've tested everything that I never thought I would be testing in.
Okay.
They brought it, and it caused me to bring it even more.
Well, then I would imagine when I ask you these next few questions that we're going to be hearing a lot more of those names of those gentlemen. Hello, Freddie. Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate you stopping by. We got Tobias Storm in here waiting for
Tobias Storm. Yeah. So I'm glad he's on this right now because Tobias. Funny story about Tobias.
Okay.
Tobias was on a podcast, and I happened to be watching that podcast.
Okay.
And he started talking. And when he started talking, he started mentioning people. He started mentioning friends of mine. He started mentioning family members of mine.
Okay.
So I started in the chat talking about Tobias, about me and him having a one-on-one match.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's where that comment, he's waiting for that match, came from. So Tobias Storm, anytime, anywhere, I'm telling you this right here, right now. Anytime, anywhere, you name it, I'm there.
Sounds serious. Definitely gonna have to keep our eye on
Tobias is a good guy, though. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Oh, and we do have Crystal there saying that she wishes that you would come back to SNPW. So yes, I think everyone definitely it is unanimous. Everybody has their fingers crossed that one day we'll see you back on that SNPW.
Well, with
Our circle.
SMPW, I do have some unfinished business there as well. I have a Sean Biggerstaff problem,
Oh, okay.
a big Sean Biggerstaff problem. So, yeah, best believe if I do decide to come back there, I'm going to handle the Sean Biggerstaff problem. It's not a threat because I don't make those.
Oh.
Those are promises.
And LVK
We
is
got
definitely
somebody
going to keep us on our toes, Victoria. At least it sounds like with what got a few things coming up. Looks like we have another in here. Reinar the Hooligan. Hello.
Who's that? Who's that?
Reinar the Hooligan from the Great Heathen Army.
I know who that is. Yeah, that's the guy that pushed me while I was in the front row at New Genesis. He's the guy that pushed me. I was trying to figure out that name.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, he's the guy that pushed me and ran his mouth. He knows nothing about me. That's the funny thing about this. He knows nothing about me. He decided to get in my face while I was cheering on my family.
Okay.
And he didn't challenge me to a match, nothing. He just pushed me and walked away and did this.
Oh.
Stop it. You're not a tough guy. I fought better and tougher Vikings than you. You're a Viking or whatever you are. I fought tougher. I've been in the ring with Jake Parnell. He's probably the toughest I've ever fought, who was a Viking. Alex Herzog, another guy who I've been in the ring with, also tough. Frank Wyatt, another guy, outweighed me by at least 200 something pounds. I've beaten. So, Reinar the Hooligan, I don't even know who that is, but he can always end up on my resume. He can always be a statistic. Just saying, because I'm always for it.
Okay, it sounds like they're coming at you from all corners.
That's what happens when you're the best.
Fair enough.
You got to be able to handle it. You got to be able to know your opponents. You got to know. See, the thing is about my opponents don't know that I study them. Like it's like a Mamba mentality, like Kobe. The best thing with Kobe, he always studied his opponents. Anybody he faced on the court, he knew their weaknesses. He knew everything about them. So my opponents, they don't understand, like, I'm studying them. So I don't make the mistakes that their opponents have made, which gave them victories. So I'm going to make sure I don't make those mistakes. And my hand is raised at the end of the night, and you hear those three letters that everybody likes to chant.
We've heard them often, and it looks like Reinar has a response.
And Reinar is going to hear those three letters too, because I'm for it.
How about we move on here just a moment and take a look back at some of your other stories. I know we've already touched on your scariest moment. What would you say your proudest moment in the ring would be thus far? Because believe me, we know you're not done.
I could give this happened there, the titles I've won, being cheered, sitting in the middle of the ring and being cheered after a loss, maybe. But I usually give my next one answer because I'm always looking for the next one. So like my proudest moment, let's say I wrestle this weekend. I'll think about it and then I'll say, I want more. I want that next one, whatever that next opportunity that I get to wrestle, because for me, this is a blessing to be able to do this. A lot of people don't get to follow their dreams and get this opportunity. So for me to have this opportunity and wrestle for many, many fans, I consider that's a blessing. So anytime I step in the ring, any match that I've ever had is a proudest moment. Win, lose, or draw, whatever. It's always a proudest moment for me. And I'm always looking for that next one.
All right.
Trying to get deep, but that's just the nature of the game. You got to think about things like that sometimes.
No, and that's exactly what we're looking for, and which would be one of the main reasons we thought you would be the perfect first guest. Because
Glad
you
to.
do look into the questions that we ask you, you always have. And those are the type of answers and the stories that you provide for us. So trust me, it's the responses like that we look for, and we always welcome. So don't ever doubt that.
Well, thank you.
Now let's see if we can make them laugh. And did you have any really funny moments that really stuck with you out there?
I do. I have a couple funny moments. Um, the the tag match, the cage tag match with me and Dice's a team,
Okay.
and against Adrian Surge and Tony Flood. They the matches we had, we were cracking jokes like during the whole match,
Mhm.
and just funny jokes. I'm hitting a move and I cracked a joke, and the crowd heard it somehow. Somebody came up to me after the show and was like, "Really? That's what you guys talked about in the match?" I'm like, "Oh, you heard that? Oops, my bad." Um, there's that one, the Adrian Surge knocking me out in the middle in Kansas City. Yeah, I don't know how. I somehow won that match. I somehow won and was knocked out for that match. I remember waking up and my hand was raised.
Oh wow.
That's hilarious that I won a match by being knocked out, but I was still going. The referee was telling me everything I did. It's like I don't remember any of that, but I somehow won. So that found out that there's this thing called autopilot, I guess. So
Yeah.
um, Dice Dice Patterson is probably the funniest person I've ever been in the ring with, and that's my brother.
Okay.
He quotes Friday After Next when he's whooping, when he's beating me. He's quoting Friday After Next. He one time he slapped me. He chopped me in my chest, and he literally told me I was Uncle Willie's son. And if you watch Friday After Next, that's the line that's in the movie. I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this now? I'm supposed to be like hurt. Why are you doing this? Why are you quoting Friday After Next? And then he just keeps on going. He's like, you're not gonna keep beating me when I'm 40. This is gonna change. I'm like, Dice, stop. You can't keep doing this.
Well, unfortunately, we
It's
didn't
just
get to
stuff
see
like
a funny
that.
side of Dice the last time we had an encounter with him. It sounds like that version would have been a lot more entertaining.
The car rides within itself are just ridiculous. With me and him, when we were teaming, I'd have to hear him like say funny. He quotes like Chappelle's Show, and he quotes Friday movies. He quotes like the movies you usually watch, and you gotta like focus on the road, but you really can't because he's trying to be funny. It's always working because it's like when you start quoting stuff like that, I start quoting it, and then we go back and forth with the whole dialogue. And it's like I remember me and Dice were getting beat up one show,
Mhm.
and it was by Tony and, and Adrian and Agents of Chaos, and we were getting stomped. So I decided to get all of them back because they all try to break me and make me laugh. But I got all of them with one thing. So they kept stomping on me, and I was holding up my hands and saying, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." And if you watch Friday After Next, that's what Mike Epps, that's what he did when they were beating him up in the corner with pool sticks. So I started to do that with them, and they started laughing. And I remember Tony walking away, and he was like, I can't do this. He keeps doing the stop, 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 stop. And that's just something like it's a sense of humor that I have and in matches and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And backstage too. So people normally see me as quiet and reserved but I have a funny side. I do like tell jokes every now and then. So
Victoria, it looks like we have some newcomers in the chat, so I'm going to take a break here from questions and let you take over.
All right. Well, while you're going, it looks like we had Marcellus Knight join the chat.
My
What's good,
the
guys?
fam, next tag team champion. Next tag team champion. I'll see you Saturday.
Looks like we also got joined by Chris Coleman, LVK, my guy.
That's my guy right there. 5-star now.
Yes, and then he came back. Yes, yeah, and he's a wrestling encyclopedia.
I mean, I better be as long as I've been doing this. I better know something.
And then we just had Cindy. I miss those days so much.
Same. Those were the golden days. Those were the days where, I could sit back and just smile about everything and don't have to worry about how management is, treating the company or anything like that. Those were the days where I knew, like, when I got there, I was going to make everyone go home happy. There's no doubts. And it's even today, I still have that theory in my mind too. So it's always like the goal is to make sure everybody goes home happy and always leave a place better than you found it.
And the very last things that we were actually able to record when we worked with SMPW. I know it's been a while since we've been out there, but that is, I think one of the last times was when we saw you in the ring. You addressed a crowd, and then we tried to talk to Dice, and well, that didn't work out very well for us.
No.
Yeah, I kind of like needed that moment. And it was nothing you guys did. It was just I needed that moment because I had just poured my heart out.
Mhm.
And I felt like this could be it. This could be over. And the one person that happened to be there for me after all of our feuds, after all of our spats, changing titles, even winning titles together, it's your brother. And then when your brother is there for you, that's just like the one you can talk to. So at that moment, I needed to talk to my brother before I talked to anybody else.
Sure. No, we completely understand, and absolutely no hard feelings there whatsoever.
Yeah. I had to make sure like I'm doing the right thing.
No, and we can't respect that any more than what we already do. So in terms of looking at another story, are you brave enough to share with us a time that you had an embarrassing match?
Not really embarrassing match, embarrassing moment I've had.
Okay.
There's been matches where I've slipped a couple of times. There is one match that I had with Joey O'Reilly.
Okay.
And I got split open actually. And it was weird because I was jumping. I was so hyped wrestling Joey. Me and Joey matches are always great.
Mm-hmm.
I was so hyped wrestling Joey. And I ran to charge at Joey.
Okay.
My legs gave out. And instead of hitting Joey, my legs gave out. I hit the turnbuckle, the rope, and split like side of my eye open. And that was probably the most embarrassing. I heard people laughing because they knew I slipped and fell and hit the turnbuckle and the rope. That wasn't supposed to happen. So that was probably my most embarrassing moment that happened in a match. I don't have too many, so
that's pretty painful too.
Yeah.
And why don't you talk to us about your fans? I know we've seen quite the presence in our chat. What is it about your fan base that keeps you going most? And do you have any stories, any memorable moments from a fan experience?
The loyalty. The loyalty is the most important thing for my fan base. I mean, they, for what, 11, 12, 13 years, have been by my side no matter what. And with that, I mean, that's the best story you can have, is that loyalty they have night in and night out that you're there. I mean, you see it in the chats. They're saying they miss me. I haven't been to SMPW since November. I actually haven't wrestled since November. I've been enjoying this time off, to let the body heal. And they message you on Facebook. They look at your Twitter and they're saying, hey, when are you coming back? Like, we miss you. So, I mean, I would say loyalty would be the best thing to describe all the fans. And the story that I have with the one that I can give out of, I have two of them actually that I can give right now. My first night, and it happened two companies. It happened at Dynamo. I got booed my first night, and then it happened in SMPW. I got booed, and in Dynamo, it turned around. I ended up getting cheered at the end of the night.
Okay.
SMPW, I walk out there. My partner is Smoking Jay. Smoking Jay is my tag partner this night, and he didn't get booed. He's the hometown guy. He's gonna get cheered. I got booed, and when I got booed, I was just like, I'm teaming with Smoking Jay here, teaming with the hometown guy. You're booing me. Okay, so yeah, no, I was like taken aback. I was like, these guys don't know me. They don't know anything about me, and you're booing me. And so the whole time, everything I did, nothing worked. They continually booed me. So I started thinking, I'm like, well, if they're gonna boo me, might as well be entertaining and allow them to boo me, but I'm gonna win matches too. So then the boos like gradually start turning into cheers. And then like the best thing that could happen to a wrestler, it's weird to say that, is an injury. An injury happened. I messed up my neck in a 6-man tag match. And once that happened, I was gone for a good 6 months. And of all people to bring me back to SMPW, it would be your number one rival. It would be Adrian Surge. Adrian Surge, after me and him had wrestled before, he saw me in the crowd. And he pulled me out of the crowd and thinking he was going to have this one shining moment. He failed miserably. What he did was he opened the door for more and more fans to gravitate towards me and love me. So that was kind of interesting with that dynamic happen. It just exploded from there. Like every time I'm there, it's the same chants every night. And those never get old. No matter what company I'm with, those 3 letters that the fans chant, they never get old. And another interesting interaction that I had with a fan was Patty Bond's grandson. I always have like fans that come up to me all the time. And every show, I can name 2 fans that come up to me. One is Caitlin Gill, and another one is Patty Bond's grandson. Okay. Those 2 are always like, since day one, have never booed me. And there's more fans that probably see me for the first time and never booed me either. But with the conversations that I've had with them, it's amazing, like the connection that you can make, and know, like, no matter, even if I do something bad in the ring, they will probably never boo me. So I could hit somebody with a steel chair and go crazy. I've done it before. I can look in the crowd and I can see 2 people, and even Cindy's another one. I can look in the crowd and see them, and I know for a fact that they will never boo me. But Patty Bond's grandson, when he gave me, I'm getting emotional with it. He gave me a hug. He gives me hugs every show, and there's pictures of me and him, interacting from the crowd and during the entrances in my matches. So when I found out that he got sick, that like really hit me hard. But like, I had just remembered like giving him a hug and telling him to be the best that you can be, and then you find out that someone that looks up to you is sick, and you want to make sure, like, okay, so I'm gonna fight for you now, because seeing how you're fighting, you come to these shows and you cheer me on. Now it's my turn. It's my turn to make sure you know that I'm there for you. So I'm cheering you. I've become your biggest fan.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that there are several lives that you have touched, because again, we've witnessed it firsthand, and we've kept in contact with many of the fans, and we always, if there's anything we always hear, it's always how much they love and adore LVK. So we have a little bit of something that we gathered for you, and I'm gonna let Victoria take over.
Okay.
Alrighty. So here you go. It's so heartwarming.
LVK, we miss you and hoping you come
The Heathers.
back soon
The Heathers.
with a big return. We love you.
The Heathers. I love you guys.
Hello, I know I miss you.
Desiree.
And you're a really amazing guy. You're great at what you do. My cousins actually want to grow up to be a wrestler, and I know that you're one that they used to look up to. Also, I might be the camera person, but I even look up to you. Also, you're a really great wrestler, and I think any company would be glad to have you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And your talents as a camera
And hello
person
about
is
SMBW.
amazing.
LVK is a good wrestler, and I
Crystal.
love seeing him. He is a good person. I love you, LVK.
And LVK, I am going to let you take a moment and respond to that. But before we do so, we were supposed to have a couple join us. However, due to technical difficulties, one was not able to be here. So unfortunately, Heather Gish had to join us in the chats, but just please know she didn't want to be here. But we do have one of those individuals here with us. Did we lose her?
I think. Oh, Debbie.
Hey, Deb.
Hi.
So we
The
brought you
greatest-
on because you were so kind as to go ahead and share your supporter spotlight with us and LVK, and I'm going to let LVK take a moment and respond to that.
So, Desi, remember when I told you like you're a great photographer?
Yes.
You've gotten 20 million times better since I told you that. I've seen the pictures that you took recently, and they're amazing. So I know like everybody is thanking you and for what you're doing now for the photography and stuff. So, and I know you said something about being a professional wrestler. So hopefully you are accomplishing that dream. Hopefully you are getting the training that you desire so you can accomplish that dream.
Yeah.
Desiree, is there a memory that you have or an experience, a story, an LVK story of your own that you'd like to share with us, of your favorite?
To be honest, it was my first time actually meeting him because it was one of my first shows and I didn't know any of the wrestlers, and he was the first one that caught my attention. Like, he was very heartwarming and kind and caring, and I just knew we'd get along from the moment I met him and he got in that ring.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate you actually coming on and talking with us. Everybody has a favorite LVK moment. That's just the way it is. I know I have one. What about you, Victoria? You probably share Victoria's mine, to be honest with you. It has to be the very first time again when we met him. And that was over at Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling. And right from the get-go, right out of the gates, you did nothing but support us. You were excited for us. You were interested in what we were offering. And I don't think we'll ever forget that. And you were always so eager for us to interview you, and I feel like it took us forever to get you. Because what June? What's wrong with us? Why did it take us to June to film with LVK? But how happy you were to do so when we finally got around to it. We just want to thank you for that and your continued support, because you and I, we talk about all types of stuff when it comes to the wrestling and what's important to the fans. And we want to thank you for what you do for them.
I want to thank you guys too. You guys, I'm always big on promotion, so you guys put us out there. You guys help us get more and more out there. Everything from our t-shirts. I've seen you guys throwing t-shirts out there for other wrestlers too. So
we do. We
that's
like
huge
to
for
throw
us.
things at the audience.
Yeah. And the ringside rivalries and slam stories. You guys are bringing the positive light to us. So, and for that, we should be thanking you guys. And of course, the fans. That's what we do this for. So, when you put all of this together, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, thank you. Well, Desiree, I want to take this opportunity before we let you go to let you know that you watched our video that we released not long before we went live. We have 2 opportunities to give away Visa gift cards. And Desiree, you are up for one of those if you'd like to be.
I would.
All right, just one simple question. If you've been watching thus far, it should be easy to answer. Can you tell us who LVK named as the funniest wrestler he's ever worked with?
There's Patterson.
Very good. I told you it was easy.
I
So
pay attention,
congratulations. We will get that $25 Visa gift card over to you, but that's not all. We have had a ton of activity in the chat. And we're not done with you yet, but we do have a second gift card that we'd like to give away. So, Victoria, I'm going to let you take over this one with Desiree.
Uh-oh.
All right, so throughout the entire chat, been collecting the names and assigning a random number, and we are going to give it up to you, Desiree, to pick one of those numbers. And you will be our selector of that winner. So if you would, pick a number through 1 through 12.
6.
6. And the one who was number 6 was Crystal Harmon. Which means congratulations, Crystal Harmon. You won yourself a Visa gift card.
Congratulations, Crystal. So yes, we are giving you ladies, excuse me, these $25 Visa gift cards. And what we hope you do with them is use them to support any of your local promotions that you like to do so, whether you're using it for gas to get there, to buy your tickets or concessions. But we hope you enjoy them. And can't thank you enough for coming on and participating with us.
Congratulations, Crystal.
Yes, congratulations both Crystal and Desiree. For now,
Desi.
we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Des.
Goodbye, Des.
Oh. And Victoria, if you want to go ahead, and I'm going to swing it right back to you again if you want to take a look in chat and see if we have any LVK stories or any other wrestling stories that want to be shared before we let Mr. LVK go.
Yeah. So if anybody in the chat has any stories that you would like to say about LVK, your favorite experiences with him, favorite moments, memories, drop them down, and we would love to share them and let LVK know really, how you feel and how special he makes you feel. Prior we had Jasmine, while we wait for some of these to come through, saying how much her and her family love seeing LVK. And just calling all amazing. And we got Reinhard the Hooligan coming in the chat. I pray to the All Father we run into one another Saturday.
You did say you were going to be there. So
That's all you're going to need is a prayer. That's all you're going to need, a prayer. You might want to take that prayer back. might be blaming other people for that when you do not want that. I promise you.
Sounds like
Come on now, you don't want that.
LVK.
Reinar, you don't want that. I promise you, you don't want that. I fought all kinds of. I've even fought plants. Come on now. Fought people named String Bean. You think I'm afraid of a Viking? Come on now. Stop it. Am I going to be helping out the fam? Guess you got to wait and see. I'll be there, but you got to wait and see. I know if Reinar decides to get Froggy, then we'll see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Good,
just
Reinar. Good.
I'm staying out of the way.
Good.
Sounds like we got a fight going on here.
Don't let the smile fool you. Don't let the smile fool you. I'm all for it.
Coming in. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, Jasmine.
I tell the kids I miss them too.
That whole family love. I mean, you just swept everybody away. I mean, they just appreciate you so very much everywhere you go, it seems.
I appreciate them. It's same. Like without them, I don't know where I'd be.
Looks like we have Sean Vernon. Bigger staff has joined.
Wow. Okay, last time. Okay, this is who I really wanted to join. Do us all a favor. Win the title on Saturday. Win the title. Because you should have never lost the title to begin with. That's all I ask for you, bigger staff. And like I said earlier, I do have some unfinished business with you. So if I were you, I would probably watch your back. I should kick the I should kick the dog. Who knows? Maybe I might kick the dog. Why would I know it's the family, but come on. I don't know. We'll see what happens Saturday.
We've got Reinar coming back in.
Blood Eagle the fam. I have no words. I have nothing for him.
I mean,
Doing kick the dog.
still going with the dog.
Kick the dog. Yeah, might do it. But Reinar keeps talking, and I can't wait to see him on Saturday.
All right. Well, we talk about all the appreciation that the fans have. And again, I know I say it over and over again, but I do want to reiterate how much we appreciate you giving us your time tonight, being our inaugural guest storyteller and coming on and sharing all of those moments with us tonight. And just know that we can't wait to see what's going to happen. So I guess that just leads me to my final question. What is the next chapter in the LVK story?
Well, there's so many chapters. I don't like doing the spoilers. You just have to read the book and wait and see what happens next. I just know that my next chapter is Saturday. We'll see what happens there, and then we'll go from there. That's all I can tell you. I mean, there's a lot of stories that are not finished. Not like I said with SMPW, I'm not saying I'm done, but I'm not saying I'm not done. So there could be stories there. There could be some stories in other companies. There could be stories. There's more than likely going to be this story with Reinar the Hooligan. He keeps running his mouth. He'll be in my book, and he'll be a statistic. This Saturday. There could be stories with Adrian Sturge. There could be stories with my brother. There could be stories with Tony Flood. There could be stories with String Bean. There could be stories with anybody I've ever wrestled. There's always going to be stories with the fans. So, and there's stories with you guys as well. You just got to wait and see and continue reading.
And that is exactly what we plan on doing. Wherever you go, we're always watching, we're always supporting, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do next. Thank you again for jumping on this crazy adventure with us. You know us. We're always coming up with something different.
Thank you guys for having me as your inaugural guest. Like that is a privilege. Like not a lot of people get to say they're the first to do something. And in my career, I've got to say it a lot. I'm the first to do this, first to, you know. So to be the first to be on your guys' show, that's a blessing.
And apparently extremely appropriate.
Yes.
All right, now we say goodbye, but we will definitely be in touch, and hopefully we'll be able to provide the fans updates and what you've been up to.
Same. Can't wait to share the journey and continually march forward. And considering that this is March, so perfect timing.
All right, LVK, thank you. Take care.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Well, that brings our very first episode of Ringside Rivalry Slam Stories to a close. And I can't thank you, any of you and all of you, enough for joining us and sharing your feelings and showing the love that you did to LVK. Victoria,
Yes.
how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It went well. I love seeing so much appreciation through the chat. I mean, these fans were going insane. And I just want to thank everybody who came out tonight to join us. I mean, this is a huge next thing that we would love to keep going with. And with your support, we just might be able to. And we just want to thank you guys so much. Thank you, Desiree, for coming in. Thank you, the fans, for sending in their support spotlights. Thank you, LVK, of all people. And thank you, all fans and everybody. Fans, we had some wrestlers coming in here talking some smack. That was amazing. And just thank you so much.
Absolutely. And congratulations to both of our winners, Des and Crystal Harmon. Be sure to message Ringside Rivalries through Facebook so that we know how to get that to you, okay? All right. Well, thank you guys. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Ooh, maybe it's trying.